Hello everyone, welcome back to the EllBristow HardKore challenge. I'm Lorenzo and today is hopefully the last episode of this challenge because we're gonna bring our boys home. After last week's quite shameful failure of doing a unpowered rendezvous and a uncontrolled rendezvous due to, well, the lack of comms coverage, it is now time to bring everyone home. Or at least the guy that's still out at Ike orbit here. Let's see, do we have the... I don't think we have the Kerbal alarm clock here, so let's just fly this. And if I recall correctly, we have 50 days to fast forward, and then we need to make our move back. And I'm going to try and fix it so that we can do our burn home around at a low altitude around Duna, because then we can maximize the O-berth effect. No, it's actually 158 days, which we will be doing, the time warp of which we will be doing from the focus of this vessel, and we have to, because otherwise if things break we won't be there to fix it. So let's commence the time warp. I hope we can actually get up to a high level of time warp this close to Ike, otherwise we are going to have to... No, we're going to have to alter our orbit, unfortunately, because at 100 times time warp this will still take 1.5 days, which is a little bit too long, really. Oh, look at that, we can go a little bit faster over there. Now what we could do is switch away to a more distant craft and perform the time warp there, but that would be cheating with the DangIt mod, because then failures actually don't happen. So yeah, we can't do that. That means we're gonna have to perform an engine burn. Let's at least time warp until we're in the sun. That means we're gonna have to perform an engine burn, and that means we are going to have to shed all the weight we can before doing so. Now it has been a while, more than a month actually, since I last used this craft. So let's have a look. This here is an empty Ike lander with parachutes. Can we use this for Earth re-entry? I'm inclined to say no. We can use this capsule for Earth re-entry if we can put this thing on a favorable intercept course, if we have the fuel to do that. If we don't, but only get near Earth, we can still send up a rescue mission. So we don't need this pod. We don't have crew in here. Do we have reports in here? No, I think all the reports are safely in here. So we can just ditch this thing. Let's double check. There's no fuel in it. No, we can say, but if we can just ditch it, why did I leave it on? Anyway, this is a sort of reversible decision, because we could go back and get it. I'm going to separate that. Undock. Okay, bye. Now we are in final homeward configuration. Let's turn away from the main, from that little lander, and do a small engine health test. What I want to do here is check which engines have been used. There's 2 nuclear engines here that are completely unused, and they will be used from this point onwards. You know, to minimize the chance of failures. What did I... Yeah, I could have taken the life support or the spare parts, but it doesn't seem likely that I would have need of them. Okay, firing the engines. Okay, these 2 are the useless ones. So let's drain their fuel. You know, because we don't need that. And then we can fill up these waste canisters. Oh, I could also have recognized it for that, because these are the pylons that don't carry any waste. Right, I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but at least we're bringing the fuel from there. What is our fuel situation actually like? Let's make an inventory of that after we ditch these engines. Right, there's fuel here. There's no fuel. Oh, there's some... Oh yeah, there's some liquid fuel here, which we can't use in the nukes without oxidizer because the game says so. Right, we have some fuel here, and we have some more unbalanced fuel here. So yeah, we had some oxidizer leaks apparently, and less liquid fuel leaks. Okay, so this is full, this is full. Let's consolidate. Actually, let's not consolidate. Let's spread out the oxidizer so that, because that's our most precious commodity. If we lose some liquid fuel, we don't really care because, well, we have plenty of that. But let's spread out the oxidizer so that we have some. If we spring a leak, then at least we won't be immediately killed dead. We have some fuel to play with. That is good. This feels like enough contingency for now. Now we have to get rid of these nuclear shitballs, and we need to fill up these waste canisters. I'm not sure how much this weighs, if this is actually going to matter, and it's going to be fairly horrible, I think, to make a point of filling it all up. Yeah, that's going to be horrible. I'm not going to do that. Right. Separate. Am I forgetting something? I hope I'm not forgetting something, because this is final. Decouple. Whoa! That's a lot of spin. They were bolted on tight. Alright. There's no fuel in it. No, there's not. Let's decouple. Boom. Wow, they are going nuts over there. Alright, I'm not going to use the staging. That would be far too scary. I'm just going to activate them manually. Activate, activate. Alright then. We have a working engine. Let's get away from the spinning debris. There we go. Bye bye, I think. That was not a big vector change at all. This is still a big hulking beast. Right, we have littered Ike with spare parts. Let's see if we can't get out of here. We want to be in an orbit around Duna so that we may time warp. We want this to be outside. We want this to be without influence of Ike, although if we do get some influence it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Or we could just boost our Ike orbit ever so slightly so that we can make a nice fast time warp. I think I'm gonna try and do that first. Let's see if we can get into a high orbit around Ike. That way we can still sort of maximize the potential. Sort of maximize the Oberth effect around Mars, and around Duna, and I don't want to waste fuel on maneuvering around the Duna system, because that feels like a waste. And it's going to be tight whether we are going to actually make it. If we spring any more leaks, it's going to be really scary. So frugality mode is very much enabled. Right, we're coming back to our jettisoned lander, because these orbits are so tiny that the drift is actually very, very small indeed. Right. Let's see, we have of course no RCS system, we have electricity, we have reaction wheels I think, so we can turn. Let's find our maneuver node and expend 70 meters per second on a burn that will allow us nothing else rather than a faster time warp. Isn't it wonderful? The things we do to get out of waiting. We have about a quarter bar of fuel here, whatever that means. And that reads the liquid fuel, I think. It doesn't take into account the missing oxidizer. Right, here we go. Nuclear burns enabled. This feels good. We are traveling under rocket power again. After months and months of coasting, Bob is finally feeling some acceleration again. Right. We have a higher orbit. And we need of course to raise it correspondingly from there, so that we actually may time warp. I hope it will allow 10,000 times from there, otherwise it's still going to be a long ass time. Right. 10 more minutes to go. It allows 1,000, that's something at least. We need to turn over. And then we can time our, because I think at what interval would Ike rotate, because I need to depart from Ike when it's facing the right side of Duna, because then I can escape from Ike, get close to Duna, and then make my burn for Kerbin. And I wonder when exactly that is going to be. Right. Some more burnings. That's almost 100 meters per second. It's more than 100 meters per second, actually, just for enabling a faster time warp. I hope we make it, otherwise I hope we even make it close to Kerbin, otherwise we're going to really have to send up a rescue mission, and we still won't be able to, you know, actually round off this series in a satisfying manner. At least 10,000 times is allowed, even 100,000 times is allowed. That's not... A battery is short-circuited. Wow! We don't care about that. Alright, at least it does do the failure bit. That was 3 days. So, cranking up the time warp again. This could be a while, and we need to do it like this, because otherwise, I mean, is this better? This is probably better. We need to do it like this, because otherwise the failures don't register. So, enjoy the flickering Duna system. Another battery is short-circuited. We don't care about that. Our capacity is still sufficient. This, incidentally, is the reason why we have so many small batteries instead of a few large ones. I really hope the fuel tanks don't go, because then we're just screwed. A battery is short-circuited, don't care about that. We are at 134 days. Another battery? Jesus, do we need to start caring about these batteries? Have they basically reached end of life? Still, we're not using electric propulsion. We need them for radio, we need them for reaction wheels, and that's basically it. Oh, we also need power. We need power for the life support, but as long as the solar panels don't start burning out, that will just work out. Okay, 120 days. The progress is real and also slow. We may have to do a tank of water is leaking. Do we care about that? I think we care about that because... Wait, is it actually already completely empty by now? No, we can go outside and fix that. Because this is the stuff that... Oh wait, no, he has to grab spare parts. Take spares? Alright. We have to go and fix the water tank, because that's leaking, it's obfuscating our sensors, and that's going to unbalance the craft. Well, it has already unbalanced the craft, but still Bob gets to do something like this. Alright. Alright, apply duct tape. Duct tape applied, no more water leakage. So our vessel is now officially unbalanced, even more than it was. And we can really tell it's falling apart. I really hope so much that our fuel tanks will hold, because it will be a while until Bob can fix it, if as soon as it starts leaking anyway. We can't do preemptive maintenance. So yeah, let's hope it doesn't go and leak. 110 days remaining. A battery is short-circuit. We don't care for batteries. At least we still have a few. As long as we have 1 or 2 batteries remaining, it should all be fine. We have plenty of life support. We have more than 1,000 days of life support remaining. That should give us ample leeway. We have 95 days to go. That's just over 3 months. And then we can start. A battery is short-circuited again. So the idea of this reliability challenge is really neat, but the practice of it is rather boring. Still, it does add tension, because the fuel tank just cannot go unless it's going to leak liquid fuel, because we already lost the oxidizer. So actually it would be good if the liquid fuel leaked, because that would reduce ballast. But still, best if the fuel tanks don't go. 68 days remaining. And we're gonna go ahead and start our trajectory with 10 days remaining, because we need to time... Oh, let's see, how long does it take? It takes about 2 days for Ike to traverse... A tank of oxygen is leaking. No! Which is it? Where is the oxygen tank leaking? Oh, it's breathing oxygen? Alright then. We're gonna fix that, just because it's not neat if Bob doesn't have anything to breathe. But it's completely uncritical, because it's not oxidizer for the engines. So we don't care. And we have plenty of this kind of oxygen. If only we could run it through the engines. but that's probably a little bit too MacGyver-y. Oh, and Bob Kerman managed to apply the duct tape without using up any spare parts even, so yay, win for that. We have 50 more days to go. We are 2/3 of the way there. Still no tank leakage, that is good. And as long as the heat... Oh, come on! Don't lose yourself in space now, man. I'm being too brusque with the jetpacks, I think. I'm just too eager to get this guy inside. Go on. Inside you go. Right. Bypass the shorted batteries and cranking on the Singularity Time Warp Accelerator again. 50 days remaining. 48. At least the engines haven't exploded, that's good. 40 days remaining. I'm starting to believe we're actually gonna get there. 35 days remaining. A tank of carbon dioxide. That's waste. Let it leak. We're not gonna patch up the carbon dioxide. We don't even want to save that. Right. 30 days remaining. That is not a lot at all. A battery. We don't care about the batteries. Alright. Just 20 more days and we can start planning trajectories. Batteries gone. Batteries, man, they go all the time. We should have bought the Duracell power batteries instead of the knockoff ones. A tank of water is leaking. I'm just not caring anymore about this. Water, 1,000 days remaining. How much of that is in that one tank? We are going to rather do a surface module. Water is running out. Water is running out? Did it just leak water from everywhere through that one tank? Oh shit! I think Bob may have just died. We're gonna... I don't think that's fair. Why did we bring 1 million water thingies if it just leaks all the water through one tank? That is not okay. Ah! Oh man. Oh man. That is just pure evil. I didn't fix the water tank because I thought there's just gonna be like one water tank and we have 1 million of them, but somebody put pipes between them and now they're all empty. And now Bob has like 4 hours of water remaining. And 1,000 days of food, 1,000 days of oxygen, and 4 hours of water. That really sucks. Let's try and plan a trajectory, just for goodness sake, to see how it would have worked out if we could have made it work, whether we could have made it work. So we were going to get near Duna there. No. Let's see a mock-up trajectory. Please get me close to Duna. I wanted to get close to Duna. And then once there, I want to boost really hard to escape. This is completely the wrong direction, isn't it? Yes. Right. So we need to boost like this way. No, more like this way even. So that's not even using the Oberth effect even remotely accurately. But this is the order of magnitude of delta V that we would need. Let's see. This is 500 meters per second and this is 35 meters per second. That would have been so super easily within our reach. Super easily. So let's see how long Bob can go without water. How far is this? That's 500 meters per second. No, that's 7 hours in the future. If Bob can go without water for like 3 hours, that means we can do this move and at least the science repository will get close to Earth, to Kerbin, and then we may be able to get it and Bob's desiccated corpse from it with a express vessel built with all the funds. Let's attempt that. We are going to try and at least shoot the science repository towards an orbit that will at least approach Kerbin, and then we shall rack our brains as on how to get it. Then at least Bob's legacy won't have been for nothing. 4 hours. He needs to hold his breath. Well, he needs to not drink for 3 hours. I think that's manageable. He should be able to do that. If all the water leaks into space and then he dies after 3 hours of not drinking, I'm just not going to continue. That means that these Kerbals are not worth my attention. But I think they will. I think they're going to make it. Well, Bob is not going to make it, that's for sure. But he won't be able to not drink for like a year. That would be weird. But we are going to shoot the science into an orbit that at least approaches Earth a bit. Right, so this is now approximated. We can ditch that one, and then here we can, I mean, we can even just target Earth. We can target Kerbin, apologies. 0.1 ascending node. Let's see, let's make this one again. And make it like here. And you know, just make it burn right towards the planet. But that doesn't matter because we will be right. It will be quite a few years in the future, I think, that we will be able to get a nice approach, but we can't wait for, oh no, wait, this challenge is time based. Yeah, what we're gonna do, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We are going to do this, and then we'll have one more episode, or more than one more episode, where we will have a insane Delta V ship that will just go and grab this science and take it home. Is that feasible? Is that even attainable? I have no idea. But one thing is for sure, we can't wait to 25 days. Wait, 25 days. So it's going to be too early. So we need to burn in the wrong direction a bit somehow, so that we will arrive later. Can we, if we expand, well, this is too much Delta V, we won't be able to move like that. Can we, though? Let's just fiddle and see if we can make this a little bit unoptimized, so that it will take longer to get there. That's hard to do. Well, this is closer. This is closer at least. Oh, and now we're probably just crashing into the planet, right? Yeah, that's not gonna work. I don't want to crash into Duna. That would be a little bit unceremoniously. This is not going to be nice either. Oh, please allow me to modify this maneuver node. Also, we're now apparently approaching Venus. That's also not good. Yeah, this was a crazy plan. It's not really working. Let's just leave it at this. And this is still a safe exit. 700 meters per second now. That makes little sense to do it like that. Closest approach is 11 million kilometers. So that means that when we get here, target position, we're gonna be here. Oh man, that's going to be a horrible rendezvous to make. On the other hand, maybe not. And if we can make like a close approach, yeah, we're just gonna have to jump off Kerbin at this point. Make a short circle. No, make a longer circle. Oh, it's going to take forever. It's gonna take a year also, so it's going to need to be a reliable ship as well. Christ darn it! Well, that's for later generations to solve. We are now going to try and redo this maneuver node so that we don't crash into the planet, and it will work within 500 meters. And later generations get to worry about details such as how on earth are we ever going to grab the science. And this is the wrong direction to burn in. We need to burn more in this direction. This is going to be such a weird trajectory. It was okay at 500. What the hell happened to that? Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, this is not 500, but 700 is fine as well. We would be able to make that 3-minute burn. Oh man. We may need to actually wait for this thing to intercept Earth. It will at some point, and I keep calling it Earth, but it's Kerbin, of course. This is going to take longer, so it will arrive later. Oh, it will take a rather large amount of years, but we can rationalize that because the Kerbal kind will be put off of spaceflight with the desiccated corpse of Bob hanging in space. So, you know, it's all reasonable. We're just going to have to wait a long time to go back out there in space again once more. Okay, an hour. Bob, take your last sips, please. If he just immediately dies. Water has been depleted. We need come on, Bob, you need to go an hour without water. You can do that, surely. Come on, 10 minutes and it's already red? I mean, if he's just gonna die without turning on the engines, that's a serious negative marks on effort. Is he getting like cracked mouth? No, he's not. Oh shit, maybe we can set the flight computer. Fifth Horseman is always harping on me too that I should learn the flight computer. Can we like do the flight computer here? No, because we don't have unmanned control parts. Ah man, we should have had unmanned control parts that could have flown the ship back without Bob alive. Oh, we are so inhumane. We could have given him a lander and some fuel and told him to make a future on Duna, but instead he's gonna die in space. Alright. Anyway, let's fire up the nukes, burn it up, and get rid of that fuel and nuclear fire, radiation. Bob is getting a dry mouth because he hasn't had a drink in 2 hours, man. Oh my god. He's probably gonna die at some point. Right. Here we go. Putting this. What can we do to make this act more accessible from the planet? The window is just in the wrong time. I mean, if it's gonna get close, we only need like a few kilometers per second, like 10 or 15 to go and rendezvous with it in interplanetary space. So yeah, I think that's probably what's gonna have to happen. A dead Bob that the science will be grabbed by someone else. I think that's better than them having to come back to Mars, to Duna, to get it. Now at least at some point in the future it will appear close to home. Hell, it might even... Yeah, they're just gonna wait, because the Gribblekind is now scared to go beyond their own planet. I ruled that has happened. They are just going to wait until Kerbin actually grabs it on its own. We're gonna spend one more episode protecting, well, actually recapturing the legacy of Bob. And we'll see how long he can go without water. Look at that, that's the new experiment of the day. How long can Bob go without water? If it's actually years, because we don't know how Kerbals work. If it's actually years, then hey, maybe he can make it home somehow, even though we colossally missed our transfer window this time. Are we actually leaving the sphere of influence yet? Yes, we are. Oh, it's such a pity because the ship worked so well and I just thought, screw the water, we've got more water, but then all of it leaked out. It's completely my fault. Oh well. At least there is a science package out there somewhere in space with all the answers to life, the universe, everything. There's ice there, although that's probably CO2 ice, not very drinkable. And at some point that's going to encounter Kerbal in its home system, where it can then be grabbed for later study. I hope it is in any way. Let's trust the instruments for that. Right, there we go. Fed it. No, we need to boost more so that this periapsis is actually the same height as Kerbin's orbit, because otherwise it's not gonna get there by itself, and we want it to get there by itself. Yes, this looks good. More. This also looks good. Yeah, we now have a solid bit of orbit intersection where a encounter could happen. We need to go make it even lower, a little bit lower like this, because then we have more orbit intersection. And now we're gonna move forward, because if somehow magically Bob can make it to periapsis, then we can burn to reduce orbit further. And of course we need to find out how long Kerbals can go without water. It's 1,000 times, that's 3 hours. 4 hours? I mean, it should definitely be 24 hours or something, right? Let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's getting really thirsty. I would be really thirsty now. 1 day without water. Can he make it for longer? Look at that. We're out in interplanetary space. Let's see, can he make it 2 days without water? Oh no, a day and 12 hours, and that's too much. Now we probably can't fire the engines now, can we? No. That's Bob, dead. No crew. Bob Kerman died of dehydration. Oh dear. But look at that. The science thing is maybe gonna encounter Kerbin at some time in the future. And on that depressing note, let's end this episode. See you next week with maybe a science intercept. I need a better name for that mission. Anyway, let me know in the comments what name that mission should have. Thanks for watching today and see you next week. Goodbye.